Next post-game show is presented by Tri-State Audi. Visit your Tri-State area Audi dealer today. Down 19 at the half, fourth quarter. It's OG Anunoby for 3, and the Knicks within 2 with about 5:40 to go. But Ayo DeSumo had 22 points off the Bulls bench. He outscored the Knicks bench by himself. Knicks bench total 21. He had 22. And the Bulls beat the Knicks tonight 135 to 125. Great to have you with us here from our Delta MSG studios. So the Knicks now 0-1 in the NBA Cup. They finished the road trip 0-3. They're now 2-3 on the year. 4 of the 5 starters, Allen, scored at least 20 points. The problem tonight, the defense. 135 points allowed by far. Yeah, it's only 5 games, but by far the most the Knicks have given up in a single game so far this season.
Yeah, we knew that the Bulls are going to be another team like Miami. They play fast. They get downhill. They're all about getting in the paint and scoring. They certainly did that, but they also shot the 3 at a high rate. First half was mostly defensive issue. The offense really got it going in the second half, third quarter. I thought Karl-Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson really tried to set a tone in that third quarter. Well, this was a winnable game. Yeah. Once again, a winnable game. It came down to making shots late, and those shots that they were making that got them back in the game, they could not knock down the stretch.
Cut the lead to 2 with about 5 minutes to go with an Anunoby 3. And you would think Jalen Brunson to finish off the game, but Jalen's looking to really set his guys up. I thought he did a good job of facilitating, getting some wide open looks for Karl-Anthony Towns in that fourth quarter in crunch time. But the bottom line is you're not going to win any games allowing a team to shoot 54% from the field and 46% from 3. I mean, that's just unacceptable defense. The Knicks are getting shredded defensively. They started off the season well defensively. Mike Brown's still trying to figure out who he can trust off that bench. And guys got to step up and start saying, I want to be a guy you can play and give minutes to, and I'm going to produce. Because right now, the bench production is not good. And he's giving a lot of guys shots, and at some point, he's going to have to shorten that bench and put guys out on the floor that he can believe are going to get the job done, because the Bulls bench completely outplayed the Knicks bench.
Well, Allen, you can make the point that Mike Brown did shorten his bench. I mean, Yabusele, yeah, he's coming off the knee injury. He played only 3 minutes, and Pollak played only 4 minutes.
Yeah, it's definitely clear. What Wally's saying is definitely something that Mike Brown's got to start seeing and realizing that there are some guys that, like even Josh Hart only played 15 minutes. That's a guy that last year was playing 35, 36, 38 minutes and was such an impactful player. We know he's dealing with a lot of things physically. But bench, you mentioned the scoring, 50 to 21. But the bench players who did play in this game, you get 6 for 22 shooting off the bench, 5 for 17 from 3. And that's part of the problem, is that you have guys coming in that maybe defensively, you worried about matchups, but you got to have somebody that comes in, like you said, and is like, I'm going to lead the way on the bench. Yeah. I'm the guy that comes in, and I'm going to set the tone. You thought Jordan Clarkson was that guy when the Knicks signed him, but there wasn't a lot out of Jordan Clarkson in this game, at least offensively. He played less than 13 minutes in this game. Yeah. So there's a lot, I think, Mike Brown is trying to figure out with his rotation and also what he can trust off the bench. But as you both said, this starts with defense.
Mitchell Robinson's first game of the year, 4 points, 11 rebounds, looked pretty good in about 19 minutes. But Wally, down the stretch, talked about it, Knicks within 2. They're down 22 in the first half, down 19 at halftime, had a great third quarter, and they're right there in crunch time, down 2, but they could just not take the lead.
Well, they couldn't get stops. That was the main thing. In the fourth quarter, I was just saying, let's go, guys. Buckle up on the defensive end of the floor. You know, Deuce McBride seems like the guy that Mike Brown likes having in at the end with those starters. OG Anunoby hit a couple big shots from the corner, but here a blow-by. Mikal Bridges, you got to be more disciplined defensively. Josh Giddey had a career high against pretty good perimeter defenders in the Knicks, and then Vucevic put up 26 on Karl-Anthony Towns and company. You know, the Knicks were matching them shot for shot, so the offense wasn't the problem. That was another blow-by in the fourth quarter. 5 minutes to go. You need a stop. 5 seconds to go on the shot clock. Here's another one. Karl-Anthony Towns, the and one. Vucevic just outplayed Cat tonight. Cat was a little bit better, but when the Knicks needed a stop and one-on-one to get a play that could help you win this basketball game, the Knicks could not get the stops they needed.
Now, you see the points off turnovers. That's a problem. But
points in the paint, too.
Yes. Well, we knew that, right? We talked about that previous. Knicks fouled 25 times. Look at the free throws. 35 free throw attempts for the Bulls as well. That's another sign of a struggle on defense. When you got 25 fouls, when you're putting a team on the line 35 times in a game, that's a big part of your defense. And I think the Bulls, to their credit, look, they're 5-0 for a reason. They've gotten off to a great start. they're running people out of the gym, and they keep you off balance because they aren't a drive and kick team. They're a drive and keep driving team. Like, they really put a lot of pressure on you defensively one-on-one, and the Knicks did a ton of fouling in this game, and they were very off balance defensively.
And you saw that. You totaled up the bench differential. I mean, so much has been made of the potential for the Knicks off the bench, but outscored 53-21. Monica McNutt in the pregame show wore the outfit that the Knicks' best defensive player of the game gets this year. Monica, no one's getting any outfit post-game tonight, are they, after what happened in Chicago?
Yeah, in the true Halloween spirit, that ghost, it disappeared. It's gone. It's trapped. I don't know. It's in the grave. It's got to be resurrected. Listen, here's my thing, guys. I wasn't quite sure. Wally Hahn helped me out. The mentality, I think, in the first half, by the time we got to the fourth quarter and it was a ball game, that's sort of what I expected. We got two teams that are running up and down the floor, like evenly matched. I don't know, as we look at the numbers, I think, and I don't know if you guys realize this, but the Bulls had 1 turnover in the first quarter. Yeah. And at halftime, the Knicks had 8 turnovers, and the Bulls had 16 points off of all 8 turnovers, right? And so I just think there were some self-inflicted wounds. I will say, as someone who's kind of really watching this offense develop, there were some better reads tonight. We saw that corner 3 that continues to be a valuable weapon. But there's a little bit of competitiveness that I wasn't quite sure. I don't know. It was like a missing thing that I couldn't quite identify.
You know what, and Monica, I'm glad you said that, because you don't want to say not trying hard or not playing hard, because you obviously know that they are. But maybe sometimes when you're trying to figure things out, there's like a hesitancy to what you're doing, and it makes it look like you're a step slow, which then you're not as intense, right? The Bulls they knew what they wanted. They went head down, right, Wally? Like sometimes that can happen with a player. Just a little hesitation makes it look like you're a step slow.
This is a young, athletic Bulls team early in the season that's hungry to prove themselves. And every player went out and played like that. And I love that analogy. Where's the compete level? Like you said, Monica, where's the Knicks just looking like they're not going to accept getting beat off the dribble? They're not going to accept, threes going in over a contested hand. It just looks like the Knicks are thinking, like you said, Alan, I couldn't agree more. They're just a step slow because they're thinking in a new system, and they're not just reacting. The game of basketball has to be all your instincts, all your reactions, and I think the Knicks right now are just a step behind where they need to be.
Monica, we've detailed it here. You probably heard us talking about the bench differential. Huge edge tonight for the Bulls. What do you think about that?
53-21? Listen, I think this is this type of night, to Wally's point, that the Bulls will be like, this is what we're capable of, right? In terms of their starting lineup, their bench unit, and take nothing away from them. I thought they did a really good job of getting back and kind of slowing down the Knicks. But I guess, and I know we kind of just said this, to me, when Karl-Anthony Towns decided to attack and use those snap drives that we've heard from Mike Brown, they didn't have an answer for him. And we knew that going into the game. And so, yeah, I'm willing to give this team some time to continue to calibrate. And maybe somehow, and Tyler mentioned this on our broadcast, maybe the 2 days off, there was a little bit of rust as opposed to rest in terms of a Bulls team that just played a Sacramento squad on Wednesday night. Like, we'll throw all those factors in. I do think this is an incredible learning opportunity for the Knicks. But you got to give the Bulls credit on that one. That's for sure.
Yeah, the young Bulls were outstanding. And as far as the bench goes, Tom Thibodeau, he played his guys a lot of minutes last year for a reason, because he is going to have a short lease with production. And if you come in off that bench, you get bulk minutes. I consider good bulk minutes for a bench player 15 minutes. And a guy tonight, like Josh Hart, played 15 minutes and 9 seconds off the bench, went 0 for 1, no points, 1 rebound.
That's
very unlike him.
Not in character.
Not like him.
So unlike and not like him. But at the same time, when you're getting minutes in the NBA, you have to produce, or it's putting your team behind the 8 ball to get wins. And that's just why at times last year, Tom Thibodeau, he said, if I can't trust a guy off the bench to give me quality minutes, I can't take the risk, because that puts us in jeopardy of losing basketball games. And at some point, the rotation is going to be slashed, and if you are not in the rotation, Mike Brown's going to go with the guys he can trust. Yeah.
All right, Monica.
I do want to jump in with this before you let me go, though, Pito, because I think, and again, this team will be in the Garden on Sunday, there's a real Josh Giddey problem. Like, there's a real Knicks Josh Giddey problem that got to be figured out.
Can't
Literally,
guard 'em.
Wally, I said it on the broadcast. I was like, I hear my colleague Wally Zerbiak in my head right now because there's a real giddy problem.
Yeah.
If Wally's in your head, he's in all our heads. It's all our problems.
Wally's usually giddy.
Welcome to the club, Monica.
So it's fitting.
Monica, have a great trip home. We'll see you Sunday.
Thanks, guys.
Giddy, career high 32 points. He always seems to get a triple-double
Did he
against
get
the
the
Knicks.
triple-double?
He came
He missed-
close.
no.
2 assists shy.
Yeah. Giddy, giddy, giddy.
Knicks
What a
down.
shot.
Knicks are down.
Giddy, 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 giddy. Again.
Oh, no.
Can we move on here? Knicks down 19 at
We're
the
going to
half.
see him on Sunday. We better shut him down.
Knicks down 19 at the half, 14-3 run Allen to start the third. Thrilling moment brought to you by FanDuel Casino. Get your thrill on. This run got the Knicks back into the game.
Yeah, and it really was led by the star players. I thought Brunson came out and was in attack mode. And Karl Anthony Towns also had a strong third quarter. Like this was what you needed to see. There's no hesitancy, right? He caught the ball, knew what he wanted to do. He's making the play. You saw the same thing with Jalen Brunson. Is just when I get the ball, I'm not thinking I'm going. But you also aren't letting the defense get set when you do that. That's when the Knicks were at their best. In every game so far this season, no matter what the end result was, even in the 3 losses here on this road trip, the Knicks have looked at times like that offense could be special. The problem is it's not for 48 minutes. It goes through lulls. And sometimes it's because when you bring the bench in, a lot of that continuity goes away.